I'm Abby. I am a dietitian at Barton Hospital in Hoisington, which is like 10 minutes from here if you're not from around here. Obviously tonight you're learning some basic nutrition, and then you're all student athletes, so kind of how your nutrition might be a little bit different from just your average person. So first, a little bit about me. I played volleyball out here at Barton in 2014. I played one season here, and then I transferred up to K-State. Also, am I yelling? I feel like I'm like shouting to all of you. Okay. So yeah, I played volleyball. I think I'm 21. I couldn't remember, and so I was like looking in this picture earlier, but yeah, pretty sure I'm 21. And then I went up to Barton, and that's when I graduated last December. Last March I got married, that's my husband, and then those are our two little dogs. Mine's the golden retriever, the one that kind of looks more stupid is mine. And then his dog is the black one. So, yep, we live outside of Hoisington, and that's my life in a nutshell. So yeah, like I said, athletes are a little bit different in their nutrition, and this is just a little quote that I found saying how the tiniest of little tweaks in your guys' everyday eating can make huge impacts on your performance. So first, I hope you all have seen a MyPlate, but this is like the most basic way to explain good nutrition. It's just a good visual of how you should be filling up your plate at each meal. So with that, I kind of forgot to put it on the slide earlier, so I'll just write it up here. But I kind of just wanted to explain like the main macronutrients of how your like body is digesting things, because then later on in the presentation it'll make way more sense when I'm just like blurting out carbohydrates. You'll actually know like what that is. So your body digests 4.5-ish things. Carbs, protein, and fat. And then, all right, down here. And then alcohol is the other one. And then the vitamins and minerals within those things. So up here, you would see a balanced diet as like fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, dairy. But when you eat an apple, your body's not like, oh, this is an apple, I'm gonna send it through the apple pathway. It sees it as one of these 4 things. So just shout it out, but up here, what would be carbs? Okay, what else? Okay, what else? Okay, one more. Yep, perfect. So when you eat fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, your body recognizes that as a carb. Dairy is a little bit differently because it recognizes that as all 3. But for the most part, vegetables, fruits, grains, dairy, carbs. So I always laugh at work when people are like, oh, I'm going on this no carb diet. I cut out all carbs. And then I'm just like, so are you just eating protein? I'm not following. So yeah, carbs, everything except protein. Obviously protein is protein, and fat, you can find fat in any part of this plate, just depending on how you're cooking things. And then alcohol shouldn't be part of your everyday diet, but your body metabolizes that a different way than it does carbs, protein, and fat. So that's included in that. So throughout the presentation, when I'm just blurting out, like, eat these carbs or eat this amount of carbs, I'm talking about fruits, vegetables, grains, and dairy, not just grains. So I think sometimes people can get a little confused with that. So making sense? Yep, okay. Again, some more basic, just nutrition advice, how to read a nutrition label. So the main thing you want to look at is the calories, so that big 230 number, the biggest one on a nutrition facts label. Main thing you want to look at, and then also the serving size, so on that one, it's the 2/3 of a cup. So that's how many calories are in that serving. So just the main things you want to look at on a nutrition facts label. And these percentages up here, the 45 to 65 for carbs, 10 to 35 for protein, and 20 to 25% of fat is what a normal person needs in a day. So your diet should be 45 to 65% carbs. And so again, people kind of freak out with that number because they think oh, I can't eat that much bread, pasta, rice, like that's impossible. But from what we just went over in the first slide, those carbs, that's vegetables, fruits, grains, and dairy. So that is a big chunk of that plate. So it's a big chunk of your everyday like diet. So questions so far? Also, any questions, just interrupt me instead of waiting till the end. You can just blurt out some questions if you ever have them. And then, the last thing on here, the less than 2,000 milligrams a day of sodium. You can't really see it on that nutrition facts label. Yeah, I don't think you can see it at all. But anyways, processed foods, a lot of foods have sodium in it. Sodium is salt, and you want to be below that 2,000 milligrams. Just, again, basic advice. Okay, so for you guys, and I guess this still kind of applies to everybody, but consistent eating patterns are going to be best. Whether you're trying to maintain your weight, gain weight, lose weight, you need to be consistent with what you're doing. Otherwise, say you ate 5 or 6 times today and tomorrow you eat just a granola bar, your body will freak out and not know what to do, because it's like, you fed me 6 times yesterday and all you gave me today was a granola bar. So it's not gonna like that. But for an eating frequency, starting your day off right, you've heard it since you've been little, like breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you don't like breakfast, don't eat it, but make sure you're eating lunch. So, okay. And then for athletes, we want to make sure we're keeping your energy up during practice, and then we're going to talk about ways to kind of replenish that energy during a recovery phase, so after practice and kind of at dinner and stuff. So first we're going to talk about fueling during exercise and kind of before it, but these are kind of the symptoms of, oh, you can't really read it, but I'll read through them. These are the symptoms of being underfueled during training. So this is your body's sign of just you are not fueled enough to get you through this practice or get you through the rest of the day. The first one is if you're experiencing kind of this breakthrough hunger after your practice has been going on for a little bit. So you start out feeling full and like ready to go, but then 20 minutes in you are starving to death. That's a sign that you are not properly fueled. If you are working hard but not performing as well as what you're working, that's a sign that you're not that fueled. If the quality of your workouts are really good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, you are dead to the world. You are underfueled. And then if you feel sluggish or more sluggish and irritated compared to your teammates, that's also a sign of being underfueled. And yeah, when you're underfueled, that also takes a toll kind of on your immune system, because I'll kind of go over it in the next slide, but you're just putting your body under a lot of stress, and that can lead to more injuries, more sickness. So it's really important we're getting you guys energy. So this slide kind of has a lot on it, so apologies for that. This is probably the most wordy slide, but I'll just kind of go through it pretty quick. So when you experience hunger, or when you're in that practice and you're just starving to death, your body is in a catabolic state, so it's breaking down other parts of your body to give you energy. So after you use up that immediate source of carbs in your body, it's going to be looking to other places, and usually that's in your liver, in your muscles, and it's taking more things to give you energy. And then that next thing underneath it, it's kind of talking about what I just said. After you use up that immediate source of energy, your body goes and looks in your muscles and in your liver to get you more energy. But what's stored in your muscles and in your liver, it's not enough to get you through a practice, especially a really hard and long one. So that's why it's really important to fuel yourself before practices, before games, because you can't rely on what's in your muscles and in your liver. Because during practices we want you in an anabolic state. I just mentioned catabolic is breaking your body down. We want to be in a building state so you can actually build muscle or build speed or build whatever it is that you're trying to work for in that practice. That next part about the 30 to 60 grams of carbs, I'll explain that in the next slide, just don't pay attention to that. And then this glycogen, so when I said that your body goes and searches for things in your liver and your muscles, it's taking glycogen. That's what's stored in your liver, in your muscles, and that's where you're getting energy after you already use what's readily available for your body. Yeah, so next one. So in the previous slide, it was kind of talking about how many grams of carbs you need, and this is just a basic kind of what that means. So before practice is on that side. So before practice, that first one is eat a bigger breakfast. So double up on your carbs, because those carbs are what's giving you energy. So double up on wheat, toast, and then oatmeal or yogurt. Take snacks with you to classes like pretzels, trail mix, dry cereal, dried fruit, fresh fruit. And then the important one on this is eat foods moderate in protein and fiber 2 to 4 hours before practice. So say that your practice is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. At lunch, you want to make sure that you have a good source of carbs and a good source of protein, because those carbs are going to have fiber, and the protein obviously is protein, but that helps keeps your energy sustained longer. So fiber and protein just help carry your energy longer. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. I feel like I'm just rambling. I geek out about nutrition, so it's just like, I don't know. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, and then during practice, if you're having a really long, hard practice, you need 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour to replenish that readily available energy for you. And what that looks like is some Gatorade, a banana, or like one of those little packets of honey. So that's enough for your body to not go searching in your liver and in your muscles for more energy, because you're giving it to it during that practice. Okay, and then this is going into fueling for recovery. So we just talked about, replenishing that energy source during practice. So drinking like Gatorade or eating a little bit of honey or a banana. So that's during practice to give you immediate energy. After practice is when you really want to focus on replenishing any sort of glycogen stores in your liver and your muscle to carry you through the rest of the day and then into the next day. So yeah, first part, your body uses carbs for energy. We covered that. We covered that when it uses the readily available carbs in your bloodstream, it moves to your muscle and your liver. I think I've said that like 5 times now. And then, yeah, you have limited amount of glycogen stores in your muscle and your liver, and it's sometimes enough to get you through practice, but sometimes not. So. The goals of recovery are to restore your fluids and electrolytes, replace your muscle fuel, which is carbs. Your muscle fuel is carbs. And then to promote growth in your muscles, that's where the protein comes in. So a lot of times, especially for athletes or anybody like bodybuilders, it's like, oh, I gotta get my protein in right now. Really the most important thing after exercise is actually the carbs and then the protein, because your carbs are replenishing those stores of liver glycogen and muscle glycogen to get you through the rest of your day. Yeah, we'll kind of go over that next part in a little bit. So the previous slide kind of said some numbers of like eat this many grams or whatever. This is just kind of that in a very basic way. So a good recovery snack if you have a hard practice is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with chocolate milk, or a fruit and yogurt smoothie, or graham crackers, peanut butter and milk, or trail mix and a sports drink. So it's all basic things. It's not some like bodybuilder protein powder to give you all this energy. It's just basic food, but that's going to replenish your glycogen stores right there. And recovery meals, so if you have a hard practice, that is examples of just a well-balanced meal to restore all of that energy you used in practice. So, again, if you look at the whole MyPlate thing, so that fits all of that. So, fruits and vegetables, that's kind of interchangeable. Obviously, not all of those have fruits and vegetables, so as long as you have one, you're good to go. This is a performance plate, and it kind of talks about on harder days, like on harder practice days or like game days after that for supper, you're going to need more grains, so more of the grains part of those carbs. That's going to replenish your body more on those harder days. Lighter days, so like easy practice, yeah, you need this. So half your plate of fruits and vegetables, and then whole grains, protein, and then a side of dairy. So just the main difference is on harder days, you need more grains. Lighter days, less grains. Here's some basic stuff. I know you guys travel a lot for sports, so this is just basic ways to eat healthier while you're on the road. I know you can't really read it, but so on the road, kind of packing healthier snacks like string cheese, yogurt, vegetables, hummus, sandwich on whole wheat bread. And then in a hotel, so if you stay overnight somewhere, avoid like the pastries and donuts and muffins at breakfast, because that's just all sugar. It doesn't have much nutritional value outside of just sugar. So any sort of baked goods like that. Also while you're in the hotel, yeah, just choose simple whole food options, so eggs, fresh fruit, or like yogurt and milk and things like that. And then always choose 100% fruit juice over a juice blend. A juice blend, again, is just basically all sugar and has not much nutritional value. If you're at a gas station, they started to sell fresh fruit and trail mix and granola bars. Anywhere you go, there's always a healthier option. So kind of just keeping that in mind. And then fast food, always choosing grilled instead of crispy. So like if you order a sandwich and they give you that option, pick grilled, it's better for you. And then bigger is not always better. Don't upgrade the size of your meal. Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory. So then the next part of that is eating at the calf. And so on that side, it just listed like all the different lines of like what you have in the calf, like pizza bar, burger bar, salad bar, deli, your main like meal thing. And like all of those are they don't sound like healthy options, but they can all be part of a healthy, balanced plate. So like say you're in the pizza line, that like pieces of pizza shouldn't fill up your whole plate. Like half of your plate can be pizza, and then the other half, like have a salad, and that's a perfectly healthy meal to eat. Also, it is very hot in here, and this sweater was a very bad choice. So yeah, does everyone, like, you kind of can see how it's just easy to build a healthy plate? Yeah? Okay, good deal. Are you all sweating too? Yes. Am I dying up here? All right, I'm gonna take off this like very ugly green sweater because I am dying up here. So, does anyone have any questions so far? I'm trying to like hurry through this because I feel bad that you have to sit through this. But I truly am sweating to death up here. Okay, so back on track to this, a couple more slides, and then, yeah, you'll be out of here. So this is a little tip for eating in your dorm room. That is just, I put a recipe up here because that is something so easy to make in your dorm room, and then take it along and eat it for breakfast if you miss the calf, or like take it for a snack, but they're just little like energy bites, or those would be perfect to eat before or after your practice. And then just keeping healthier snacks ready for like studying. When I was in college, I always had frozen fruit, and that just like helps keep you awake while you're studying because it's so cold, but also like you're not just mindlessly snacking on something that's like really high in calories. And then, so that little tip, I saw it on the internet, but it seemed like a very dietitian-y thing to say. So say you missed eating at the calf, and you're like, oh, let's just go into Great Bend and get Freddy's or something. Well, all of you probably need something from Walmart anyways, so instead of like eating a super not that healthy of a meal at Freddy's, like pick up a rotisserie chicken and a bag of broccoli and rice and steam it in your microwave, and then healthy meal. So, yeah. Okay, and then kind of my favorite thing to talk about athletes or anybody interested in nutrition is kind of supplements and why I am not a huge fan of them. So when I say supplements, that's any sort of like vitamin, mineral that comes out of a bottle, but also like protein powders and any sort of powder. Any sort of powder. I don't know, someone give me an example. Like, okay, yes. So that is, I'm a big advocate for food first. So those powders are food-like substances. It's not food. So most of the time in those powders are a lot of things that your body doesn't know what to do with because, like I said earlier, your body understands these 4 metabolic pathways. In supplements, there's a lot of extra just crap in there that your liver just has a hard time getting through when it's metabolizing it. Yes?
What about meal replacement shakes? Is that what you're talking about as like a powder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like they definitely have their place in a diet. Like if you truly just don't have time to go grab a meal, like that's when it's fine to use powder. But if you're choosing powder over food, it's just, you don't want to do it.
Every once in a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you have the option to get food, your body knows what to do with that versus like what's in a powder. Yeah, so does that kind of make sense a little bit? Okay, it's really hard on your body because it really just doesn't know what to do with all the stuff that's in there. Also, supplements and everything like that, they're not regulated by the FDA. There's no sort of, I mean, there's like third-party testing for these supplements and vitamins or like powders, but there's no regulations saying like this is for sure pure, this is for sure what's in this bottle. There's nothing. So usually with athletes, it just becomes a greater risk for you consuming things that might fail you in a drug test. Because if you're getting super sketchy supplements, you have absolutely zero idea what's in it because there's no regulation behind it. The ones that are safe to use have an NSF like certificate thing on them, or that's not the right word, but you get what I'm saying, or an informed sport certification. I can't say that. Whatever. You can read it. So yeah, looking for the NSF or that sport one on it. It'll be a safer, because those are third-party testers that have kind of just deemed it as a safe one. But yeah, and I'll kind of talk about this more on the next one. Usually on supplements, powders, anything that looks too good to be true is, so any sort of energizing, fat burner, boost metabolism. Obviously testosterone doesn't really pertain to you that much, but like anything that you're like, oh wow, I need this in my diet because this is going to do this for me, it's not doing that for you. That's just false advertising, good marketing, and you're going to think it's doing these things for you because you've already told yourself it's going to do that, but it's not. My kind of an example for this, people at work always ask me about oh, what's the new thing? Like collagen peptide stuff. It's like a very trendy thing that people are spending a lot of money on, but collagen peptides, your body makes collagen from the protein you eat. So just eating more of this collagen protein powder stuff, like I have some friends that are like, oh, this says it's going to make my hair grow really long. Your body doesn't know that. You can't take something to make you faster or build your muscles or grow your hair, because when you eat it, your body's like, it doesn't just know, like, oh, I'm going to send that to your hair and it's going to grow really long. So yeah, that's why I always just promote food first, because it knows what to do with that. So just trying to not like buy into like really good marketing. Does anyone have any questions about this? Okay. Oh yeah, and then again, the whole food first thing, so just choosing food over supplements. Supplement companies are smart. They know you're going to buy it. They're going to advertise it good. They're overpriced for what they are, and they're not regulated. So yeah, you really don't need it. And like, so the food first example, a turkey sandwich has more amino acids in it at a so much cheaper of a price than like a whole bottle of amino acid supplements. A lot of times with supplements, it's going to say, oh, you're getting like 300% of this, but your body can't handle 300% of that, so you're either pooping it out, peeing it out, or it's staying in your liver, and then it's just going to cause a whole load of problems later on. So yeah, there's a place for supplements in certain people's diets, but for the most part, choose food first. Man, I just went really hardcore with the supplements pages. Basically, that side just lists like different supplements, like there's vitamins, minerals, and then like caffeine supplements, creatine, protein and amino acids, and then omega-3s. So that's kind of what's on that side. Potential risks of those, and then the food equivalent. So the food equivalent to like creatine powder and stuff would be just eating more meat, poultry, and fish. Protein powders or amino acid supplements. Just increased beef, pork, chicken, fish, turkey, beans, lentils, tofu, nuts, dairy, and eggs. So you got a lot of options to get some protein in. Or the same with like nuts and beans and stuff like that. So yeah, just always trying to think of like the food equivalent to what you're actually taking, and if you can get more of that into your diet. Because a well-balanced meal is going to give you all the nutrients you need, even though these supplement companies are saying that you're not getting enough of a certain thing. Okay, everyone take out their phones. I'll say the biggest mistake I see of people, especially younger people coming in to see me, is your protein needs. I Googled it one day, and the first thing that pops up on Google is very, very wrong for what your protein needs should be. So the average adult is that one. So like me, that's what I would use to calculate my protein needs, because I'm not really working out that hard every day. For athletes, so if you're in a really physical sport, you're going to need more protein, so obviously higher. So in your calculator, pull up your calculator in your phone, take your body weight in pounds, so whatever you weigh. Put that in your calculator first. And then, okay, and then take that, divide it by 2.2. So get that weight into kilograms. We following? Okay. Okay, so you've taken your body weight, divided by 2.2, you're in kilograms. So, for the most part for girls, I would stay on that lower end of the protein. That 2 grams per kilogram, that's for like, I would say maybe like I don't know, like an Olympic like athlete who's doing crazy amount of workouts and everything per day, that would be that. Yeah, so I would stick to that 1.2, 1.3. I wouldn't go over 1.5 for you. So you have your body weight in kilograms. So take that times 1.2. And then that's how much grams of protein you need in one day. So what are some numbers you're getting? Huh? 70, okay. I got a 70. What are some other people getting? 192. Okay. Okay, so those are pretty accurate to what I think you guys probably need. The other day, okay, listen, Linda's. Yeah, we're almost done. So the other day I had a really small, tiny girl come in, and she was trying to get 170 grams of protein a day, because she read on the internet you're supposed to have 1 gram per pound of body weight, but it's usually, as you can see, like 1 gram per kilogram. So this tiny little girl was trying to eat 170 grams of protein, and obviously, like, that's impossible for this little tiny girl to get. So don't trust everything you see on the internet. Yeah, so this is how you get your protein grams for your guys' body. And then obviously if you're trying to like lose weight or gain weight, you would use that goal weight as your like initial number. So say you're trying to like lose 5 pounds or something, or 10 pounds, that would be that number divided by 2.2, and it's going to give you less of a protein grams, so you're eating less protein, less calories, and you'll be losing weight. So Okay, almost done. Little tips for me to you. Tackle weight change during your off season. Don't be trying to lose this crazy amount of weight like during volleyball season, during basketball season, tennis season. You are here to perform your best, not look your best. So unless your coach is really like working with you and helping you tackle this weight change, you need to be doing it during the off season. Because during season, your body's under way more stress, and if you add on trying to lose weight, you're just stressing out your body way more, and it's just not going to go as well as if you did it in the off season. And with that is set realistic timelines for any weight or body composition changes. So if you say you're going to lose 10 pounds in the next 2 weeks, unless you're losing water weight, that's not realistic at all. So just kind of knowing that losing weight is a very slow, tiny amount of progress each week. Usually when I am seeing people at work, the goal is just losing half a pound up to 2 pounds a week, depending on what type of a person I'm seeing. So it's very small changes. That's what sustainable weight loss looks like. Next tip is showing up well-fueled so that training results in improved performance. So kind of like we talked about in the beginning, when you're showing up under-fueled, your body's not performing well, and you can't be your best athletic self. So just making sure that you are being well-fueled throughout your whole day and through practices, and just making sure to eat, I don't know. And then always looking for reputable sources of nutrition information. So kind of like with the protein example, just Googling in like how to calculate protein needs, it's going to pop up wrong. So that's why I had you do that. But usually when I tell people if they're trying to search for something and I don't have a lot of time to explain it to them, so say you want to try out macro counting. When you go into Google, type in macro counting dietitian, and then it's going to bring you to articles written by dietitians, and it's going to be accurate ways to calculate things, so you're not trying to eat 170 grams of protein in a day. So any sort of like weird diet or like weird thing, just search that and then right after put dietitian, and it'll bring you to more reputable sources of information. Also to keep in mind, colleges are when you guys are hitting peak bone mass. And so if you are not well fueled, poor nutrition increases stress fractures and poor bone health for life. So what you're doing in college right now to your bones is going to set you up for when you're in your 50s and your 60s. So really trying to just pay attention to that and fueling your body, because you don't want to be 50 or 60 years old and not really like functioning that well because you were really abusive to your body in college. Also, last little tidbit for dietitians, like find a dietitian, and also if you do ever meet with a dietitian and they don't mesh with you, don't just discredit all dietitians. So like after listening to me, if you're like, wow, I don't think I could sit in a room with that girl and talk with her, don't be like, oh, all dietitians are like that girl. So just keep that in mind. Like, just because, like, if you didn't like me or you don't like some other dietitian, there are tons of us, like, throughout the state, throughout the world, just everywhere. Let me see what this is next. Okay, questions? So I told you I was going to hurry through that for you, so now that I'm, like, dying in sweat. But any questions before you leave? Okay. All right. Yep.